Hey everybody, my name is Jesse from Artistic Wealth. First, I wanted to say thank you to all of the artists and shops who have shown interest in my wealth building guide. Uh, More than happy to get that out to anybody, so feel free to reach out if you haven't already. That said, I've got a few questions right here, and I'm going to do my best to answer all of them. I do want to preface with this is not financial advice, this is general educational content. I can't give financial advice to you or anybody without having a one on one conversation because it is a very custom sort of thing to do for somebody. Anyway, so let me get to the questions and I will answer these kind of quickly, keep the video short-ish. Um, I'm gonna I'm gonna answer these three questions together. So, what is a Roth IRA? What is a SEP IRA? And what is a solo 401k? That's probably the most common question I've gotten so far. So, basically, think of it this way, right? So at your bank, you have a checking account and a savings account. Those are both just the accounts. That's the account where you put your money in. That's all you can do in that account. Then on, maybe a brokerage app of some sort, you have a brokerage account, IRA, Roth IRA, SEP IRA, etc. Those are just types of accounts. Uh, each of those types has certain rules, certain pros and cons to it, but at the end of the day, it's just an account. Just like a checking or savings is an account at a bank, a Roth IRA, a SEP IRA, solo 401k, that's an account with a different institution. And the main difference is you can invest in these accounts. So you can buy shares of the S&P 500. I wouldn't recommend buying only that. I know like a lot of people are like, "Oh, just buy the S&P 500." That's not necessarily the greatest advice, but anyway, I digress. So to go back a little bit, the Roth IRA, right? Every dollar that you put into it has already been taxed. So while it's growing, you're not paying tax on the growth. And the idea is by the time you retire, you pay tax on what you put in. Everything that grew in it was tax free. And then by the time you're taking money out, that is all tax free money. So you grew money tax free and you are taking it out tax free. So there's no tax there aside from the money that you put in. Now, a benefit is you can always take money out that you put in because you're putting in money that's already been taxed. So you can always take it back out. But if you take out the interest you earn, that's where you run into like penalties and blah, 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 whatever. What is a SEP IRA? A SEP IRA, it's like a traditional IRA. So there, you have a Roth IRA and a traditional IRA. I just explained Roth. Traditional is tax deductible. So everything you put into a traditional IRA or a SEP IRA, in this case, is deducted from your taxable income this year. So say you made 100,000, say you put 10,000 into a SEP IRA for tax purposes, your income is now 90,000. So you'll be taxed as if you had only earned 90,000 this year. What is a solo 401k? It's basically the same thing as a SEP IRA. The contribution limits are the same. It works a little bit differently with the employer employee contribution, but I'm not going to get into the weeds with that. For our purposes, it's just like a traditional or a SEP IRA. Um, and I guess the main difference here with the solo 401k is instead of doing conversions, you could contribute potentially right into a Roth directly. So that gets rid of like some of the middle steps, which the middle steps can be helpful if you were looking to just kind of be as tax smart year to year as you could be. Uh, Anyway, what is a Roth conversion? So that's when you take money and you put it into, say, like your SEP IRA, and you convert that money to your Roth IRA. So say you made 100,000, you put 10,000 in the SEP, and then you convert it to a Roth IRA. So the thing is, you make 100,000, right? Then you contribute 10,000 to the SEP. It's like you made 90,000. But then when you convert that 10,000 to a Roth, you made 100,000 again for that year's tax purpose. But you're getting more money into your Roth than you're technically allowed to get by just contributing. Right now, the contribution limit for 2025 is 7,000. It usually goes up by 500 every year, so next year is probably going to be 7,500. Um, yeah, so that's how that works. Um, why not all Roth or no Roth? Again, it's really just kind of going to depend on your situation and what you're trying to accomplish. There's pros and cons to really each thing. For example, with the SEP or solo 401k, you could possibly get yourself into a lower tax bracket, or maybe you're making a large purchase that year and you want to be taxed less, or maybe you're just thinking long term and you're not thinking short term at all, and then you want to go more Roth. It's all going to be highly dependent on you and your needs. And where does artistic wealth come in? That's exactly where we come in. We're gonna sit down and talk with you, get an understanding of your needs, what's important to you, what you're trying to accomplish, and meet on a regular basis so that each and every year we're helping you make the best decisions possible when it comes to your contributions, your conversions, of course the investments as well. Like I said, I wouldn't just stick everything in the S&P 500, and that might be something you would hear commonly. Um, but in any case, that is all I have for today as far as answering the questions I was asked. Again, I do want to thank everybody who's responded. Like, comment, follow, subscribe. I would appreciate any of that very much. And I look forward to making another video, interacting with all you guys. And yeah, thank you.